Hey Mama, welcome to the Hip Whisperer podcast. My name is Whisper Brightenborn, and here we rewrite the story that doctors never finished for us with hip pain. And so I want you to go grab your coffee, go get comfy, because it's going to be a doozy. I'm going to share my entire story on how everything unfolded the last, over 7 years through 13 different doctors. It's going to be a big one. So, that being said, I have also written a book, Heal Like a Mother. This is basically your guide to being hip free, but also gaining answers on why you have hip pain. Every mama is different. All of our births have been different. Our bodies are different. We are not wired the same way. So that's why I made this book. This is the exact guide I wish I had when I first started having hip pain. And if you got littles at home that have no idea how to even help mommy or understand, I break it down. Mommy's hip has a boo-boo. That is my children's book, and it helps them understand, but also helps you understand your hip pain as well. That was actually, I interviewed my kids, and I was asking them questions, especially my oldest, because he's my one that my hip pain didn't start until he was about 2-3 years old. He has a great memory, and we were talking about it. And he basically helped write that book as well. All the information will be in the description or a link in the comments. Everything will be in there for you to purchase them. And you cannot find these books on Amazon. They're only through me. And I can honestly say, 2 times self-published author. So excited. It's Heal Like a Mother, and that's for mommies. And Mommy's Hip Has a Boo-Boo for the kiddos. Okay, so let's get down in the nitty-gritty now. My hip pain didn't start until 2016 when I was pregnant with my second baby. Third trimester-ish area. I was working full-time at that time because we were just trying to make ends meet, new baby coming along, things like that. It was a lot. I decided to push through it. I went to my OB for a routine checkup, and they chalked it up as SPD. Cool. It would go away after I gave birth. It didn't happen. In the meantime, I did continue working because we needed it. My husband's career is very demanding, so he could not hold a second job comfortably, but I was able to have another job. In the meantime, I did request, or I shouldn't say my doctor did request, I had a doctor's note stating that I needed a desk at my register. I worked in a retail shop. I was denied that. The women that I worked with were absolutely fantastic. They made sure that I had water. They made sure I had food. I was taking breaks. Like if our manager went missing a little bit, they're like, sit down. So they were fantastic. They were a great support system through the whole ordeal. Now it's time to give birth. Gave birth. I did not push. I actually had to have a C-section. That was actually my second C-section. My first one was an emergency C-section, so I had another one. The pain didn't go away. Not at all did that go away. 6 weeks went on. This pain is still there. I was eventually referred out to an orthopedic doctor. This was my very first orthopedic specialist doctor. And let me just tell you, I wish I kept my pants on. And I cannot stress that enough. You do not need to take your pants off at these doctor's appointments. Go in with athletic wear. I had yoga pants on at that time, and I still had to take my pants off. I really didn't have to. That was his protocol. 13 different doctors, or technically 12 doctors after him, I never had to take my pants off. What does that tell you? So they gave me these cute, the nurse takes me into the room, gives me these cutesy, not really cute, paper blue shorts. Not stylish at all. She's like, take everything off from, your waist down. I said, even my underwear? She's like, yes, even your underwear. Why do I need my underwear off? Made no sense, but whatever. Took off my underwear as well, and I put on these blue shorts. He came in, asked me what was wrong. I did that, told him what was going on, told him why or what my OB thinks and everything like that. He's like, all right, jump up on the table. Got up on the table, laid down, all of a sudden he started touching in areas that never got touched again from any other doctor through this entire journey. He was the only one. At first, I was shocked. The first time that this happened to me, the first doctor, so I didn't know. I wish I asked the nurse to stay in there. It was just him and I in the room. Went home after that. My voice got silenced. I didn't know how to really go about what just happened. Went home, talked to my husband about it. He was angry. And he's like, next time, either he would be in the office with me. It was kind of hard because we had the 2 babies, and doctors and babies don't mix very well, especially when it's for you, or have a nurse in there. Absolutely. So every other time after that, I had a nurse in there. But I was quiet. For almost a year, I was quiet. He did not find anything wrong. He didn't even take an x-ray. He just did that exam. Exam told me nothing. He's like, oh, well, you're a great candidate for a complete hip replacement. Sir, I'm 26 years old. 27, 26. No. So right there, it made me really uncomfortable in general, the way everything unfolded. So now we go to a year later, second doctor, because I called my insurance. I was like, I need to be switched. I did not tell him why. I wish I told them why. I wish I voiced up and told the insurance company, hey, because obviously they refer a lot of people there. This is my story. This is what happened. It needed to be documented, and it's never been documented. And I regret to this day not to actually get this all documented. It is what it is, but I wish I did. Way back in 2016. My second doctor, I walk in, and he looked at me like a deer in headlights. He's like, what are you here for? I have hip pain. It's been going on since I was pregnant. Well, you're a mom. Yes, I am a mom. Yes. Gave birth 2 times. Again, I didn't get answers, but I did get an x-ray from him, and nothing showed on my x-ray. Okay, go to my next doctor. When I say I had 13 different opinions, I'm not even kidding. I had doctors tell me that I was crazy. My doctors tell me that it's all in my head, that it's a part of being a mom. What else? Why are you here? What do you want me to do? I want you to find why my hip is hurting me. It didn't stop me from going to see any other doctor, obviously, because I had 2 little boys at home that needed mommy to be a mommy. I needed to be up. I needed to be running. I needed to be getting in the dirt, climbing the playground, kicking a ball around. I am a very active mom. So, and this was holding me back. No more. I was done. I kept pushing. I researched about my body. I probably know more about my body than an actual doctor at this rate. And I'm not saying that to diss a doctor at all, because that's not it. I have great stories to tell you about doctors. These are my bad stories first. We get the bad out and bring in the good at the end, okay? Stick with me. I researched everything about my hip. And you know what? This little book right here, Heal Like a Mother by Whisper Brainborn, it's exactly what I do. I tell you literally everything that happened in my hip journey and how to document it and how to know about your hip, not Susie down the street, your hip. So this book would have been, it's my survival guide. Exactly how I survived. This is the book, Heal Like a Mother. They're on my website, thehipwhisper.com or heallikeamother.com. I'll have everything linked in the description and in the comments. It didn't matter how many tests I did. It didn't matter anything, because it was the way I was presenting it to my doctors that they could not understand. We weren't understanding each other. They were doing the basic protocol that they needed to do. X-rays. Nothing short of X-rays. Here's physical therapy. I dropped out of it. I'm a physical therapy dropout. Not once or twice, but like 6 different times until I'm like, this does not work. Why wasn't physical therapy working? Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. So I go down, I find a doctor that was relieving pain. Well, why was he relieving pain? But I had to go back every 4 to 6 weeks. He was actually making things worse for me instead of better. Even though I was feeling better, it was making things worse, and it like inside on my structure and everything like that. And so he referred me to another doctor that specialized in labrum tears. Did my x-rays. I did an MRI. There's something special about those MRIs that you really need to ask for. I also did hip injections 3 different times between the doctor that was like making the pain go away for a couple weeks and the new doctor. I was seeing them both at the same time because I needed that relief. The hip injections worked, but they didn't work. Usually with hip injections, they can work for 10 minutes to like 10 weeks, if not longer. Some people don't need them. Some people use them as a pain relief. For me, it didn't work that long at all. But if it works for even 10 minutes, it relieves your pain for even like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even an hour or a day, 3 days, 10 weeks, that's how doctors know that the pain is in your hip. So I want you to just give it a shot. If you're not getting answers and the doctors keep pushing, well, let's try this shot. And you're like, well, no, I don't want that shot. Just try it. That's how they know it is in your hip, because there's a lot that goes on with your hips. And I could have prevented a lot of this forever ago when I very first started having hip pain when I was pregnant. And we're going to get to that too. So after I got my hip injection, I was like, yeah, it does hurt. That it did relieve pain. They're like, oh, awesome, that's your hip. So now let's go get let's go get an MRI. Did not have contrast, just got the MRI. Nothing showed up on my MRI, and the doctor's like, hey, let's go in blind. No, that's not the confidence I needed. I have 2 babies at home. Those babies need me. No. So I declined. I actually ran away. I went back to my doctor that was giving me relief. Now I'm entering my 3rd pregnancy at this time. And that pregnancy was easier on my hips because that one doctor. He was relieving pain, but he was making it worse. Remember that. I go through my pregnancy, deliver, still, I'm getting better. I kept with this doctor until we had to move out of the area. Well, whisper, what was he doing wrong? He was doing everything right, but also wrong. He was relieving my pain because my pelvic is tilted and misaligned. I should have been told to do deep core. Deep core. I'm not talking your abs to get a 6-pack. I'm saying your deep core. That's what helps your pelvic stay aligned. Deep core exercises. I should have been told to work on my glutes to keep everything aligned, strong, and exactly where it needed to be. That is one of the biggest things for us women. You can go through all this physical therapy, but they're still not doing things that needed to be to keep your pelvic in alignment, to keep things straight, to keep things strong. Because if you think about it, your pelvic holds all your guts. And when that's unstable, do the math. Right? So you can go through all the physical therapy you want. If you go through physical therapy, look for a pelvic therapist. Pelvic physical therapist. I wish I'd known about that. I didn't know about that until I was recovering from surgery. And my physical therapist there, he was a pelvic therapist. He specialized in female pelvic area. Why did he do that? Because his mama was in the same boat as me, and he wanted to help his mom. Touched my heart. I started tearing up when he told me that. And from then on, I always requested him because I knew he was going to be able to help me. So after I gave birth to my 3rd baby, I continued with this doctor until I had to move out of the area. This would be my 12th, well, technically my 11th doctor. Then I went and reached out to another doctor that wanted to go in blind, which would have been my 12th. I bounced back to my I bounced back to my 11th doctor because he was helping me relieve pain. So we moved out of the area, and I found my 12th doctor. Talked to him, laid down, literally spilled my guts to him, and he took an x-ray. And he can deny it until this day that he did not help me. Mama, he helped me a lot. He found something on my x-rays that nobody else found. I pulled up my old x-rays and I compared them. And you can literally see a pincer impingement on my x-ray. Now, I don't know how to read x-rays, but this doctor did. This doctor showed me. And if you look at my logo is my last x-ray I took before surgery. So I had a pincer impingement this entire time that it took a doctor with that keen eye to find it. He's like, I bet you have a labrum tear in the back, and I'm going to refer you to somebody that knows how to do this, because he only did hip replacements. But he knew I was a great candidate for arthroscopic hip surgery. That's when I had to drive 3 to 4 hours away from home to go see this doctor. And that's what I did. Walked in there, and I'm not going to lie, I feel so bad for him because he had to deal with me that day, our very first initial appointment. I told him, this is what I've done. This is what I've researched. When I say I came with papers, I came with receipts on everything that I did with doctors, how my hip is functioning throughout the day. So much, to the point where if you want a copy of this, it's on my website. I have it. The hip pain intelligence. I have it. It literally breaks down everything that I showed my doctor, and they're printable, so you can print and use it yourself as well to help you, so you don't have to go through 13 doctors. Or so say you went through 13 doctors, you can stop right at 14 or stop right at 13. It's going to help you literally break down your own hip. You're going to be your own doctor. This is not textbook stuff because every person is different. So I walked into my 13th doctor and I laid it all out for him. And he's like, well, I bet you have this. It's like, okay. He goes, you need a contrast, say that again, contrast MRI. Okay. Never had one before. Let's go get it done. That day, they called a scheduled appointment. I had it done that following Saturday. So I probably, within that first week, I had my contrast MRI done. I drove 3 to 4 hours back up there to go get this MRI done, because where I'm at, their equipment isn't as advanced as my doctor's. So what do? Drove up to his MRI machine. The contrast, weird too. It was like an IV, and they just shoot it through you. I thought I had to go like through my hip and stuff, like the way that hip injections were. No. So I went there, got my MRI by like Monday or Tuesday, because I got it done on a Saturday. Crazy, right? So on a Monday or Tuesday, I got a phone call. And it's like, definitely have a labrum tear, and that pincer impingement's there, but you also have deterioration of your cartilage. He's like, I don't know if you have arthritis, but when I get in there, you're gonna heal no more. He seemed so confident in his decision that I was like, let's do it. The confidence he had in my hip, and the way he did not talk, when he talked to me between my 12th and 13th doctor, the way that they spoke to me was not from a computer. They did not bring in an electronic into the room where they just sat and typed the whole time. They knew their stuff. So I went back into his office and we chatted some more. He showed me everything with more confidence on what was going on with my hip. He goes, let's schedule surgery. Let's do it. Surgery came about. Husband was with me. Very thankful for my parents. They stayed and they made sure that our kiddos were good. We went in for surgery. and before surgery even took place. If you're a guy listening right now, I'm so sorry. This is going to be a little TMI. But I started my menstrual cycle as soon as they got me on that bed. Before they even got me with anesthesia, I felt horrible. I felt so embarrassed what was going to happen. Those nurses were amazing. They're like, honey, happens all the time. They probably just said that to make me feel good. Whatever, made me feel good. But they're like, don't worry about it. My husband came in and he got to talk, with the nurses. Then he got to talk with my surgeon. First time he's ever met the man. Because I usually drove up alone because our kids have school and things like that, and he works down here. First time he ever met him, and he was asking the doctor so many questions, and the doctor actually sat on the end of my bed and talked to my husband as if I was his daughter on that bed. That's the way that my doctor talked, or his wife on the bed. And he gave my husband complete confidence that this was going to be it, that I was going to get my life back. After my doctor left, my husband looked at me and he goes, I think this might be it. I said, I hope this is it. I'm already embarrassed. Like, this better be it. My husband did request one of the nurses to be in the operating room and never leave my side. That she doesn't have to medically do anything for me, just to be there, to make sure nobody touched me inappropriately. That's how much my first doctor affected not just me, but my husband as well. She promised him that she would not leave my side. I don't know if she did, because they knocked me out before I even went, into the operating room. But I'm going to say she did. She held up her word. They sent my husband out. He had to go get my medication. And I do remember talking to the anesthesiologist, and we were just chit-chatting, and they were all so sweet. I had so many people around me, though, and they wheeled me back in for surgery. And I can confidently say that my last two doctors restored faith in me, that things are possible, that getting answers is possible. Having somebody look at you as if you were a human and not a dollar sign. Look at you and believe you is a whole other feeling. They didn't call me crazy. They didn't say it was just being a mom. They said, yes, you do have hip pain, that this is what's causing it. So let's get further into it. After surgery, I woke up to my husband and a nurse, and I remember going, I am so hungry and thirsty. So as I was nibbling on my snacks, a wonderful nurse helped me get dressed. And despite having the issues that I had going on with my menstrual, she was so sweet, and she also helped me with that, because I couldn't bend. They had this big old brace on me. Couldn't do much. And she also, my husband's fantastic. My husband knows how to do all that as well. And he was there to help and assist. And the doctor came out and he goes, everything went fantastic, but I have to tell you something. Gosh, what? Like, did I need more work? I did. He anchored in my labrum tear. He shaved off my pincer impingement. But I had a lot of cartilage damage, to the point that it was deteriorating my bone. And he shaved that off. He cleaned it, but he was able to save it. 7 years of damage. And then he goes to me, I don't know how you even walked in here. And I was like, wait, I have photos of it. The inside of my hip. He goes, you were so inflamed, so red, inflamed, that he doesn't even know how I walked into that door. He doesn't even know how I walked for so long. And he was also shocked that I have no arthritis. He did not have to clean up arthritis. He goes, with the inflammation, he thought for sure I was going to have arthritis. And I didn't. I will share those pictures one of these days, because every time I look at it, I tear up. It's very emotional. You don't think the inside of your hip would be emotional, but I think that there's a lot of trauma response to that emotion. Being told for so many years that I was crazy, that it's just part of being a mom. It's basically suck it up cupcake type situation, that these doctors took their time and they listened to me and They figured out what was going on with my hip. And I did. In my book, I have a dedication to them. Because without them reassuring me that I am not crazy, them reassuring me that there was something wrong with my hip, restored everything in me. And that's how they're a big part of my book. Heal like a mother. Because without them acknowledging it, I don't think I would have survived. I don't think I would be the mom I am today. And I'm not saying just physically, but mentally. I don't think I would be able to tell the story that I'm telling right now. I don't think the hip whisperer would have ever came about. And that's why I'm sharing it. Got my survival guide, Heal Like a Mother, right here. This book does have a section with their names in it to tell them thank you. They are the reason that I'm surviving, that I survived all those years. Because without them, I don't know. Honestly. I have recovered fantastically. I absolutely love helping women, guiding women through this hip journey to help them get answers. Just hopefully didn't take as long as mine. Because no mom should suffer for 7 years through 13 different doctors to find the answers that they needed. First week I went for my post-op, that was to ditch my brace. And then 2 weeks I got to ditch my walker. By the way, if you ever get arthroscopic hip surgery, I highly recommend getting a walker. Helped me in the bathroom. I didn't need extra equipment in the bathroom. Getting in and out of the shower, helped me getting up the couch, helped me going up and down the stairs. A walker, I got to buy a lot less things. Fantastic. Also, make sure see if your insurance will do your ice machine as well. Some insurance do. My doctor wrote me that prescription and I got one. I think it was like 4 to 6 week post-op. I went back and he goes, "You're healing up beautifully." Everything was fantastic. I gave him a big hug because, again, I cried, not gonna lie, because I was back. I was back to my old self. No limits. Now my kids have to keep up with me. But again, that's why I share it. My entire website has things to help moms. I have a doctor directory that moms are able to submit a doctor that has helped them, has actually listened to them. I don't take any negative. I only take positive. You can go on there and you read what each mommy or woman has shared about that doctor that has helped them with their hip pain. Why? Because we need answers. We are done scrolling at 3 a.m. trying to find what relief you need. Heal Like a Mother is going to be your guide through a lot of it. It's going to be your saving grace book. This is a book that you write in. I even have sections in here that you write. You take those notes. My programs that I have a bunch of PDFs to download that gets you those answers. I have scripts to talk to your doctor so you can get the right answers. There are good doctors out there. There's always going to be the bad egg in the basket, but there are good doctors that take their time. I had 2 of them that took their time to really help me get answers. I'm forever grateful for them. They know it because I tell them all the time. And guess what? They also have gotten a signed copy of my book because they are the reason these books even exist, okay? The only reason these books exist. Your survival guide for being a mommy, but this book also, Mommy's Hip Has a Boo-Boo, also helps your babies understand what is going on. And that is exactly what we need. Okay, we need somebody that will listen to us. I'm not a medical provider at all. I don't ever claim to be. But what I do say is that I'm basically a hip expert for moms, for women, because I understand our hip on a different level. We are rewriting what doctors never finished. So don't take no for an answer. That's not an option here. We figure exactly why your hip is hurting because we deserve answers. We deserve that freedom. subscribe to my podcast, my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Whisper Brighton Board, the Hip Whisper, search it. My website is full of resources. I even have a subscription that helps you. My phone, I'm on WhatsApp app. Text me. Like, I need help. How do I go about this with this doctor? I'm in a pickle. I'm there. I've been through it. 7 years, 13 different doctors until I found my answers. And again, this is why my survival guide, Heal Like a Mother. Mommy's hip has a boo-boo. For our little ones to understand, because they don't understand. Shoot, we don't even understand what's going on with our hip until it's too late. So that being said, go get my books. Get on my website. Follow me on social media. I'm not holding back. Because every mom deserves that hip-free freedom. All right, Mama, I hope you take care of yourself because you deserve it. If you need anything, I am here. Your hip strategist for women. Because I know exactly what you feel. Exactly what. This isn't textbook over here. This is years of research, years of doctors, and years of WTFs. You take care of yourself, Mom. You deserve it.